is a concept. So see, going further in the string class, we have many methods, right? As we proceed, we will discuss all these methods one by one, because there is something called a split method. I will show you real-time example. What is split? What is substring? What is stream? What is concat? Right? Everything we are going to discuss in detail. But to discuss that, we need something to understand, that is array. Until and unless we have not discussed this character string array or array concept, it doesn't make sense to discuss these things. So once we start discussing the collection framework and other concepts which are related to string, at that time I will explain you this method in detail, right? But for now, we need to understand one more thing. In interview, they are asking one question: what is the difference between Convert.ToString and ToString method in C#, right? So this is one of the interview question they are asking. Okay, both these methods are used to convert a value to a string. You are having some value, and if you want to convert that value to a string, then you can use these two mechanisms. We have already seen the example of Convert.ToString method, but apart from Convert.ToString method, there is also ToString method, which will also convert a value to a string, right? Then what is the difference? The difference is that this Convert.ToString method handle the null value, whereas ToString method does not handle the null value, right? Let us understand this with an example. What we mean by handling the null value and what we mean by not handling the null value. So in this case, I'm creating one. I'm having one customer class. I'm creating one customer C1 variable and assigning this value as null. That means C1 is null. Now, on the null object, C1 pointing to null, on the null object, if I invoke this method, then it will not handle, it will give me some exception, because because the ToString method does not handle the null value. But instead of ToString method, if I go and use the same thing. So here it is a class type, and even if I created a value type, I mean, if you have created a string type, the string is also having null. So this time it is also going to throw me error. So what error? See, it is also showing me null reference exception, because the name is null. On the null value, we are accessing the ToString method. So whenever you are accessing the ToString method on the object, and if that object is having null value, then you will get this null reference exception, because ToString method does not handle the null value. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now come to the ToString method, the Convert.ToString method. So this is only ToString method, and you are invoking the ToString method on the object. Object means on the C1, it's a C1 variable and it's a name variable. On the variable, you are directly calling the ToString method. Now, right? Now you can see the same thing. I'm not doing anything new, the same thing. But here I'm using Convert.ToString method. I'm passing the C1 object, but C1 object is null. I'm using Convert.ToString method. I'm passing the null value, name value. Name is null. But in this case, it is not going to throw me any error, because it handles the null value. No error. That means this two statement is executed and we are not getting any error. So in whenever you are working with the real-time application, the most and the preferred way is to use Convert.ToString method comparing with ToString, because this Convert.ToString method handle the null value, whereas ToString method does not handle the null. Is that clear? Yes or no? So in short, Convert.ToString method handle null, while the ToString method does not handle the null value and throw an exception. So it is always a good programming practice to use Convert.ToString method.